Hey Shackers, welcome back to This Week in Switch 2. I'm your host, Asif Khan. I'm CEO, Editor-in-Chief, EIEIO here at Shacknews. And I'm the best in the universe. Remember that. I'm joined here by my usual co-hosts, which Discord has flipped again. This is 3 weeks in a row that you guys are not in the same location, which forces me to introduce you guys in a different order every week. We have Head of Long Reads and Managing Editor and Reviewer of Resident Evil Requiem, David Craddock is here.
Yeah.
I just had to say it because I teased it last week. I'm like, no. This is what I was talking about, folks. When I said something awesome, we were about to talk about something awesome. Something awesome was about to be discussed. I was talking about Resident Evil Requiem, and we were about to talk about it. So that's exciting news. So yeah. And then, yes, News Editor Donovan Erskine here, Pokemaster.
What's up?
In this Pokemon Day week, I guess we could say.
Oh yeah.
We're pre-Pokemon Day right now. But there's already Pokemon news. We'll get to that here in a second. But the big story of this week in Switch 2 is that a Resident Evil mainline game is releasing day and date on a Nintendo system with the rest of the world. And that's exciting.
Yes.
And David, you have played Resident Evil Requiem for review, and the review copy you were given was on Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes, I came away very impressed. Let me talk about that first. We've touched on this podcast before, but Resident Evil Requiem, aka RE9, as I've taken to calling it, is just a wonder to behold on the Switch 2. It runs great. It looks great. Rock solid 60 frames per second. I think it's 1080p docked, which is how I've played it. But yeah, it just looks great. I think it's like the technical showpiece for the Switch 2 now. And I think you could have said the same thing about Street Fighter 6, but this obviously comes with a lot more assets, a lot more textures, more environments, more characters, etc. So yeah, if you're buying this game on Switch 2, really the only thing you won't be getting are achievements, but there are in-game challenges that when you complete them, you get currency to unlock unlockables. So you don't need achievements because they're kind of built in through the challenges anyway.
Yeah. I think there's three games now, though, David. There's Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. There's now Final Fantasy VII Remake integrated, which Donovan had a chance to write impressions about. And now there's RE9. Yeah. Like, I feel like those are like three different devs, three games that are considered visually impressive on other platforms that are now on Switch 2, and they all run well.
And the reason I kind of favor Resident Evil in that discussion, not only because I'm an RE fan, but because it's, like you said at the top, this is a day-and-date new game. Those were ports. You never know what can happen with ports. They're great. They're outstanding. But this shows that Switch 2 can keep up now day and date with other releases, that I think is pretty important.
Oh, it's a very big deal. And I think like we're getting hints from Square Enix that maybe that third entry in the Final Fantasy Remake series may be a simultaneous ship. Last year, Donovan, we saw it with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. Sorry, I forget the 4 part of it. And even Madden, right? So, like, we saw Madden ship day and date on the Switch 2, but they weren't, like, on par with the other platforms. This is, like, you're not really missing out if you're playing this on Switch 2.
You're not. Sam Chandler, our head of guides here, played it on PC. Obviously, the PC version looks better, but I don't feel this isn't like buying. You remember when like Street Fighter 2 came out on Super NES and then it also came out for Game Boy? This isn't like that. You're not playing the Game Boy version here. Mm-hmm. You're just playing another version that looks fantastic. And the game itself is incredible. You know, I've been a pretty vocal critic of the past new Resident Evil games. I thought 7 was just okay. I know everybody loved it. And I did not like Village at all. But Resident Evil Requiem is my jam. It's probably my new favorite Resident Evil game. I've played through it coming up on... Well, there were some technical issues. I've beaten it almost twice, and then on Thursday we're going to play it again. Asif will be live streaming it. Mm-hmm. But I'm just really impressed by this. So the kind of the central conceit is there are two main characters. You've got Grace Ashcroft and Leon S. Kennedy. The man, the myth, the legend returns. And they both offer a different style of gameplay. Grace is rooted in more classic survival horror, whereas Leon is more action. And what I found is that the pacing where you alternate between them is just perfectly done. Like, you build tension as Grace, you release tension as Leon. And in fact, it feels particularly good. You know how in a movie you can't wait to see the bad guy get his due? In Grace's sections, there'll be a lot of big monsters that you can't kill, but Leon, you just kind of bitch slap them and then move on. Like, it's not even a thing, you know? It's awesome, and it feels so good to do with Leon. I'm just really impressed with this game. I love the pacing. It's terrifying, but it's also exhilarating when you play as Leon. You get to go back to some, no spoilers, but to some iconic locations in Resident Evil lore. This is a continuation of Leon's story from 2 and 4, so I can say he has some sort of infection.
Yeah, they showed that in a trailer. I think at State of Play, they showed his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has some sort of infection that's rooted in past experiences. Mm-hmm. And it's just cool to see him return as this grizzled veteran. And it's a nice contrast with Grace, who is she's an FBI like analyst. Like, she's not used to being in the shit. And suddenly here she is in the thick of it. And she's just trying to survive, whereas Leon's like, this is kind of my 9 to 5.
I love that about Grace, though, because there's an element in a lot of RE games where it's like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. It's like, I'm not, how did I get into this mess, right? Like, there's a lot of characters in the RE series.
I don't even go here.
You're like, why am I here today? Even RE2, right? Like, it's like, it's like, what am I doing in this? So like, it's, I love that Grace is the vessel for that story, but at the same time, it's like this evolution of RE4 where like Leon is truly a badass in RE4, overwhelmed at times, but still a badass, right? And I think it's cool that they did this, because I'm with you, man. 7 and 8 didn't do anything for me. And I think that this is just an interesting take in it, that the horror aspect, that's what they got right in 7 and 8, right?
Yeah.
There's some really scary and gross moments in those games, but it just like, it lacked the fun. And from what I've seen in just Leon's gameplay, like the stuff that's publicly available in these trailers is like, Leon's fun as hell to play as. Like, he's just really fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This could be, his section could be like an expansion pack for RE4. Like, it feels lifted straight out of that style of game. Yeah,
so you said this is your favorite RE game. So what was your previously favorite? Was it 2?
That's really tough. It's probably RE2 Remake, even though in some ways I liked RE3 Remake better. I thought it had better unlockables, but 2 has more longevity. It's the one I've modded the most, and just gone back to the most. So yeah, probably RE2 Remake for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mr. X in RE2 is like iconic for a lot of people. And yeah, and then the mods, man. My favorite PC mod for that game is the Thomas the Tank Engine one.
I knew it.
That also, but have you seen it where it like also uses like, there's like a DMX song that plays, like X Gonna Give It To You plays when Thomas shows up. You can combine those two mods, and it's like, that's by far the best. I agree with you. Like, RE2 Remake on PC is like probably the most fun I've had playing this series in a long time. I love RE4 for the GameCube, and I'm still working on my all Bear Trap run on the remake version.
Of course.
But I think it's extremely high praise for you to say this about RE9, that this is now your favorite game. I think that's wild.
And I think it works because it goes back to the pacing I mentioned, where it's this build up and release of tension. One of my issues, my biggest issue with 7 and 8 is that they start off at these pure survival horror games, but by the end of them, especially 7, you feel invincible. Like, nothing really scares you anymore. In this game, you never feel invincible with Grace because you're not supposed to. You have to be careful how many zombies you kill, because I'll just say this, they can come back stronger. It kind of reminds me of the Crimson Heads from the Resident Evil 1 remake, where if you kill a zombie, you better be really sure your routing doesn't have you going near it again, because you're gonna be in for a really bad time. And you're supposed to feel strong as Leon. So by splitting up those feelings of survival horror and action survival horror into one complete game, it just feels better, because you feel invincible as one character, but not as another. So, and it's just really well paced.
To that end, about not, like, be careful who you kill, right?
Yeah.
does the meta reward you just shooting their legs off and just letting them sit there?
You can't do that this time.
What?
You cannot. No,
I'm
you cannot
screwed.
dismember them. Yeah. So, like, one thing I didn't do this in my first playthrough because I was scared of my own shadow. But from now, what I do now is I will just shoot. If you shoot a zombie in the head or the leg, you'll stagger them, and then you can run by. But there was one point where I'd shot a zombie. I kind of got lost, and I shot a zombie enough times that when I shot him in the leg again, he died. And I was kind of like, uh-oh, well, I can't go this way anymore because I didn't want to deal with him again later. So, yeah, it was kind of a scary moment to know that I'd accidentally killed this dude by shooting off his pinky toe or something.
Because that was a viable strategy too, right? Like,
yes, that was a viable strategy in 2. Absolutely.
That's how I got through a lot of that. So I'm now even more terrified about this. I saw you mention like the details about like Grace's inexperience when it comes to combat versus Leon's. Like her hands shake when she's aiming at
yes. Yeah.
So that's a really cool detail. Does that actually like does her bullets like waver as a result?
Her reticule moves more than Leon's does while he's aiming. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
That's why I go for leg shots more with her than headshots, just because you're bound to miss more headshots than you make, especially when you're learning the game. And I'm on a controller, so it is what it is. But you know, Leon's a lot steadier. And in fact, that's probably like I only really have 2 complaints. It's that one, depending on how you play Grace, she can get pretty strong. She's never strong enough to stand up to those kind of resurrected zombies like Leon could, but she does get strong enough that I was kind of surprised. It just depends on how you play her. There's a crafting system. I happen to craft a lot of ammo because in the beginning you don't get much, so I just felt kind of more secure carrying around a lot of bullets with me. And my second complaint, and this is something that Sam and I talked about, is that there aren't a lot of puzzles. So if you enjoy that aspect of Resident Evil, there are some, but they're pretty straightforward. I kind of liked that because this game does such a good job, again, with the tension in the release that I felt like if the puzzles got too tricky, you'd lose that. You'd lose whatever feeling you were chasing at the time. So I don't consider it a big deal.
I feel like early on in RE2, that is a problem. Like where there is this like tension buildup, then it's like you're in RPD, you got to unlock this other door, you got to find this key. And it like, it goes from like scary, oh my God, I got to get out of here, to like, okay, now I have to figure out this thing. And then it's like, scary, and then I gotta figure out this thing. Instead of that, it seems like they just bounce you between these 2 characters, and that's how they keep things moving. That's cool. The game is called Requiem, but there's a weapon in the game called Requiem. Can you talk about the Requiem gun a little bit? Is that something Grace uses mainly?
That is Grace and Leon. So the first time you see Leon, he gives it to Grace, just so she can kind of help defend herself because they're trapped in the same area but in separate wings. And it's really, the thing hits like a cannon. Like 1 bullet is enough to take out most enemies, but the ammo for it is very finite. So you only break the Requiem out, and it's kind of a break glass and cage of emergency weapon.
Yeah, it's like kind of OP.
Yeah, it's very OP, but it's meant to be, and it doesn't put down like bosses, for example. Some bosses, it only staggers them. You can't kill them with it, but it is worth using, but you have to be very, very careful with the ammunition.
Okay. So there's like, do you craft that ammunition or do you find it?
You can craft it and you can find it. You tend to get a little more when you craft than what you find, but even then it's still like, I was like a lot of Resident Evil games, especially with Leon, by the end, I was sitting on a lot of ammo, but never for the Requiem. That one I always hoarded until I got to a point where I absolutely had no other recourse.
I am curious, David, something I think is so cool about this game is that it lets you switch between first and third person mode. And I saw a little bit of it during my Switch demo, that you can just do it on the fly in the pause menu. I'm curious, for you as a longtime RE fan, did you find yourself messing with those perspectives a lot, or did you kind of just set in very early, like, I'm just playing Leon third, I'm doing Grace first? Do you think that that'll maybe add a spin to future runs, maybe do a Leon first person run and you reverse the roles, anything like that?
Yeah, I could see people doing that. For me, I've always loved Resident Evil in third person. One of the reasons I couldn't get us into 7 and 8 is because I just didn't. I know some people find the first person view scarier. I just found it less immersive, which is kind of ironic. So with this one, right from the beginning, I set them both as third person. I have played around with both of them first person just to see what it feels like. It feels a little weirder with Leon just because he's so much more athletic. He's jumping around and stuff. So I would recommend. The game actually says like, hey, play first person with Grace, third person with Leon, but I just did third person with both.
I think RE games, especially David, with like enemies that come from behind you and stuff, and just when you're swarmed by zombies, it's not as interesting in first person. It's just not, and it's actually frustrating at times.
Yeah, there are certain things I like to do, and I know some people will say that this is kind of lessening the horror, but like I find it easier to kind of like peek around corners in third person. You can just rotate the camera just enough to see down a hall, which I know like takes away from some of the immersion, but that's okay for me. I prefer Resident Evil in third person. It's just how I've been playing it since 1996.
I think it's good that there's an option for both. But I've never really. I'm with you. I haven't really enjoyed the first person experiences in the games. And it's already scary enough. Like I don't need first person RE to scare me. I'm already afraid of third person RE games.
Yeah.
You mentioned you have very little negative to say about this. But you do mention that like during some of your during one of your runs, like Grace did become like almost too powerful by the end of the game. How does that progression work? Like, what do you mean by that exactly?
So because of the crafting system, you can choose whether you want to craft, for example, handgun ammo, and I think you get like 8 bullets per craft. You can also craft these. You've seen in the trailers, they show this blood tool where you can craft these kind of one-shot kills where anything infected with this infection will die in one hit if you hit it with one of these shots. You can use those, and those are mostly like, you can't do that on an enemy if it's aggroed on you. You have to sneak up on it. But basically what I meant by too powerful is I just crafted a lot of handgun ammo. But again, that doesn't help you against everything. Like you can put down zombies, but there are consequences for putting down zombies. You might have to deal with them again later. So Grace was more powerful in that respect. And I suppose I only felt that way until, more powerful creatures came. And then I was like, well, these bullets aren't going to do anything. It is definitely worthwhile while playing her to be sneakier and stealthier.
Okay, so that rewards my style of play where I'm, I run away.
Just slink around, run away. That's what Grace would do, honestly. Yeah.
Now, I know you're not a story first gamer. You're a gameplay experience, emergent gameplay kind of gamer. But, the RE games do have a story to them. And there is, in this one especially, there's some continuity with Leon's story. How did you feel about like the narrative design in this game and how these two characters kind of inform that?
I really liked it. So there's actually continuity in 2 ways. This is the 3rd chapter of Leon's journey, 249. And then this is also a continuation of Resident Evil Outbreak, which is a deep cut. Grace's mother, Alyssa, was a playable character in that game. I actually really liked the narrative design. I found myself getting into the story, and I really enjoyed it. Like I was pushing forward. I'll say this, you know me, there's never a cinematic I won't skip. But in this one, I did not skip them. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because like even in like, oh, that's weird. You guys just flipped orientation on the screen. It's weird in that RE4 is like so damn cinematic, right? Like there are these moments where like the first time you play RE4, you shouldn't skip the cinematics, and it's like it's like action horror, action movie almost levels of events that happen in that the lake or the pond. I think it's a lake, right? There's some really interesting things that happen in the lake. For folks at home who haven't played RE4 Remake or RE4, you should. But, like, it sounds like they're... I guess my question, is it more RE4-like in its storytelling, or is it more RE2, RE7, RE8-like?
I would say it's a little bit of a mix of 2 and 4.
Okay.
There definitely are a lot of scripted events. The cutscenes are few and far between, but the scripted events are really well done. And there's a lot of environmental storytelling going on. Like there's a creature you meet right at the beginning that stalks you. And she does it by crawling kind of through vents and holes in the ceiling and the floor. And so while you're looking around a new environment, if you see these holes, you're like, uh-oh, here she could be, sort of thing.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's definitely a mix of the storytelling styles.
Yeah, because in RE2, the police department's like its own character almost. Like it adds so much to the storytelling of that world. And then like I always think about like the village in RE4, with the clock tower and like the church and all that, like the bell ringing, and like just so much of my memories of these RE games are attached to environments more than they are story beats. And it seems like they did that well in this as well, right?
Yeah, they really did. Like there's, I know exactly what you mean about the RPD being a character. I felt the same way about the mansion in RE1, Rockford Island and Resident Evil Code Veronica, where it's almost like a haunted house. The location has to have character because you're going to be going through it so many times. You're going to be learning the routes, that it has to have character in order to feel like a real place and have personality. And there are locations in this game where you spend a lot of time, you get to know them, you get to know the pathing, you open up new routes, and they just become a character in themselves.
That's awesome. So, Darren, are you about to say something?
Just earlier when Dave was mentioning the other RE games, you mentioned 2 and 4. Didn't they already also say something about 6? I know that's like not appreciated game in the series, but I remember that when people being like, it is canon, because I think one of the game devs mentioned it on like a broadcast. Anything out there for the RE6?
Yeah, it is canon. You're right. Even I kind of gloss over that one. So Leon's story is 2, 4, 6, and 9 now. And to be honest, I thought that game was so bad I didn't even finish it. Like to this day, I don't even know what happens with a lot of the characters in it.
Okay, so 5's the one you like a lot. That's the
5's the one I really like. Like the story in it is 5 and 6 are weird in that like I hate the story in 5 but love the gameplay, and the story in 6 is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, you have to play the game. But that's how I kind of look at it.
5's the co-op one, right?
Yeah, 5 and 6, but 6 just felt really glitchy and buggy, and they never really got over that. And yeah, 5 was the first co-op one. That game, that's Amy and my favorite co-op game of all time, honestly.
Yeah, it's just, I think they struggled after 4, because, like, 4 was a masterpiece, Domin, and it's like, what do we do different? And then they tried something different with 5. It landed for some people, it didn't, and then, I think by RE6, I don't remember the timeline. Was Capcom starting to make movies out of this franchise by then? Because, like...
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when things really went sideways for this franchise for a while. Because those movies are ass, Donovan. Like, if you want to see some of the worst video game movies of all time, go watch the RE movies, because they are bad. And that's where, like, that's where the stories... You're like, ugh. But, I guess you're right. The Leon Kennedy story does include RE6.
It does.
But dude, so early on, I gotta say, we've seen a lot of trailers for this game. Like maybe more than any RE game, honestly. We saw that the early villain in this. But how are the villains, like not the zombies, but like the villains, the bosses, the mini bosses, how are they in this game? Because that's such an important part of the Resident Evil franchise to me.
It is. And in this game, you can still tell when they're coming or when an encounter of any type is coming, because you suddenly walk into a lot of room and there's like, oh, here's 8 shotgun shells. And you're like, oh, I'm about to use these, They're very, very satisfying. I can't go into them without going into spoilers, but they're really worth fighting. I have saves at some of them just so I could fight them again. They're that fun.
Okay.
You also kind of get to have revenge against something from Leon's past. Like the final battle is really, really good, really cinematic, epic music, like everything about it just rings like a bell. They're really, really good in this game.
So you mentioned saving, and that is a very weird thing in this franchise's history. How does saving work in RE9?
You use typewriters, but unless you play it on hard mode, you don't need ink ribbons. You can just save anytime.
No ink ribbons.
No ink ribbons unless you're playing. So there's like a casual level, there's standard, modern, which is how I played it. Just like go to a typewriter and save, no ribbon needed. Standard classic with ink ribbons, and then you unlock a higher difficulty after you finish the game. which I probably won't attempt for a long time just because it's called Insanity, and I'm sure it is from what I've heard of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are there bear traps?
No bear traps.
Damn. What am I going?
So you might be able to.
I'm a clown in these games. Like, what is the clown shit that I'm going to do in this game, David? Like, there's always something stupid that I end up doing. Like, what is the bullshit that I'm going to fall into this time? Because there's something.
I feel like you're always going to get caught by the monsters. I could definitely see you freaking out and like panic running or like going into walls. I feel like anytime a monster appears, it's going to catch you. That's going to be your run. The always caught run.
Okay, that's accurate. I might play this on casual. I've got, like, if there was a chart of my abilities in the Resident Evil game, it's just a downward sloping straight line. So I might play on casual just so I can get through this, because I struggle in these games. I am a scaredy cat, and but I love the gore in these games too, so I might have to be brave. I think in games where I can play as Leon Kennedy, I'm less of a scaredy cat because he is a badass. How is the gore?
The gore is great, man. So one of the things you can do, you can craft this item, like I said, that one hit kills enemies. And the way it kills them is they start like blowing up, like getting all puffed up, and then they just erupt in blood and guts. Like, if you remember Mortal Kombat 3's fatalities where like blood and skulls and rib cages just rained everywhere, it's a lot like that, but more.
Like,
it's awesome. Like
comical,
but also like blood splatters the walls, the floors, the ceiling. Like, you can go like, oh, I remember when I was in this doorway. Like, you'll definitely remember where you were because of the blood you leave behind. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Dude, this sounds great. Anything else that you want to let the folks at home know about this?
I would say that, like, I think that Resident Evil games can be divisive depending on the style of the game. And I honestly feel like whether you prefer classic survival horror, whether you prefer more action, you're going to get what you want out of this game just because of the two different play styles that it offers. I don't feel like it favors one over the other. Like, just when you're kind of about had all you can take from Grace and her like terrifying sections, you go to Leon and you get to relieve that tension. And this is actually, I would love to see this as a blueprint for Resident Evil going forward. Like, two characters, two styles of action, because that's the thing, right? Like, one of my complaints with 7 and 8 was that I didn't like Ethan Winters. I think he's one of the most boring video game protagonists of all time. I really like Grace, but also if you don't connect with Grace, there's Leon, and everybody likes Leon. And if for some reason you don't like Leon, you might, attach on to Grace. So two play styles, two characters. This is the way I'd love to see Resident Evil go forward for a while. Just
another Switch 2 specific question. How did you try it out in handheld as well?
I played a little in handheld just to see how it handled. Yeah.
It was solid?
It was solid. Yeah. Like, I definitely think docked is the way to go, just because you and I have talked about how we find the Switch 2 a little too big.
Yeah.
I had trouble with the controls because of that. And I just prefer my Pro controller. And by the way, I was sent a Resident Evil branded Pro controller for Switch 2. We'll have to unbox that on our stream on Thursday just to give the people a look at it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's weird spelling of Resident Switch 2ville. Residente Switch 2ville. No, that's cool. Yeah, and we have I think TJ played RE9 at Tokyo Game Show, and we have an extended video of him playing it in handheld there. Donovan, you kind of mixed it up, handheld and docked, when you were at that Nintendo preview event.
Yeah.
And it's funny, David, like, I don't play handheld at all, but I have started just using my Switch 2 as a little portable television, and I just throw it in tabletop mode, and I pull out my Pro controller and I just play it like it's a TV. Because, I'll have a podcast on TV, or I'll have sports on TV or whatever. So, like, I've started to turn my second screen experience into a tabletop mode, which compared to the original Switch, man, I never did that. But now in this world where I'm horribly addicted to Ball Pit and these other games, I found a way to like multi-screen my life with tabletop mode. So it's like I'm always going to be interested in performance when it comes to this. But to your point, like, such a cinematic game, such an immersive game, I want to play this on my big TV. I know that you, like, historically, you're going to get this for PC. This is like, PC is where you like speed run this game or these games, right? So like you're going to play this again on PC. But I just think it's really interesting that like this would not have been possible last generation on Nintendo Switch.
No, I think the only way they did it was, you remember they released Resident Evil 2, but it was over that like, it was over like an online service. You had to stream it.
Yeah, cloud.
That's how they would have had to do this. And I don't think it would have been nearly as satisfying.
And like cloud gaming is viable in Japan because the internet and the speed of the internet is kind of democratized over there because it's a smaller country, but also they care about their infrastructure. It's not here. The net neutrality laws are gone, and like we have issues just in our own town, David, with our internet service provider. But like, cloud gaming is not the answer for a game like this. I saw that Nintendo did drop a what do they call them, like developer spotlight, with the game director from RE9, and he was just like he was like, when we were messing around with this, I was really impressed with the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. And that seems to be a trend that we're now seeing. But it's all, you mentioned it, it's kind of been a theme on our show, David, since, we've launched this week in Switch 2, is that it's engine specific, the performance of these games. And RE Engine, which powers Street Fighter 6 and powers the Resident Evil games, it runs extremely well on the Switch 2. It's been optimized to run well on this platform. And that's exciting. Like, what that means for the future, I think is exciting. And now, like, I think it's your point earlier about how this is, like, a new game. And it's like you're not really compromising a whole lot if you're playing it on the Switch 2. And it's, like, I think a third of the size of the game that's on PS5 or on PC. So it's like, clearly they're doing some kind of compression magic here, and they're probably using DLSS technology and all those things that the NVIDIA chip inside the Switch 2 allows for. But it's like, Nintendo did enough this generation where it's not like a huge compromise to play games on Switch 2. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm missing out by playing Tony Hawk on it. And like, Madden just feels like a compromise on any system, Donovan. But like, it's not the end of the world playing it on Switch 2. Like, if you're a gamer out there and you can only afford one system, getting the Switch 2 used to be like, you're not going to get these games. They're just never going to happen. And like, that's not the case anymore in this generation. I think that's cool.
No, and in fact, going off of what you said, I might not get this for PC for quite some time. Like, I've gotten used to the controller. Like I said, I don't feel like I'm missing out by playing on Switch 2. So I have yet to like do my routing and speedrun strats, although you'll see a little bit of them on Thursday. But I am happy, more than happy, playing on Switch 2 for the foreseeable future.
Damn. Okay, well, I'm getting it on Switch 2 then. Which is, once again, like couch-based gameplay and being able to hide under my blankie when I'm afraid. That's gonna be how I play this game. What a crazy Friday! Oh, but by the way, I don't want to bury the lead here, but like, review scores are review scores. I want to hear your opinion, and I wanted to talk to you about this game. I was really looking forward to this episode because, you have a reverence for the RE franchise, but this is your first 10 out of 10 review score at Shacknews.
It is.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, I find that significant. Like, I've always believed that we should give out 10s, but we don't give them out lightly. And this, even though I had some problems with it, the whole time I was playing, I was just thinking, like, this is either a high 9 or a 10. And I can't find anything that really bugs me about this game. Like, I loved the experience from beginning to end. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Nice. So that's our highest recommendation, folks. And the second 10 for this franchise, RE4 Remake.
And for Leon.
Yeah. Leon Kennedy has 2 10s. The
10.
RE4 Remake is excellent. And it was our first 10 out of 10. And that was like this huge moment for us because there was this old methodology here. Nothing can be a 10. Nothing's perfect. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid. So, like, at some point, we had to move the goalposts.
Right.
And it leads to this scenario where, like, Breath of the Wild's a 9. Which...
Yeah.
I kind of want to just retcon that and review the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild and just be like, 10.
You know, I wrote the impressions for the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, and I was so tempted to just add the score, like, this is a 10.
Yeah,
because it's Breath of the Wild, but improved.
Yeah.
You know, so, like...
Upon further review, 10. And, you know, my Tears of the Kingdom review kind of addressed that, but, you know...
Yeah.
That's another argument for another day, but like, I don't really care about review scores, man. I care about people's opinions. I care about what they liked, what they didn't like. I like reading reviews, I like listening to people talk about games, but it is important to note that this is a 10 out of 10 game. This is one of our highest recommendations of the year, and it's instantly a Game of the Year contender from the sounds of it.
It is, and I'm going to be banging this drum throughout the year because, you know, this is a February release. Sometimes even big franchises like Resident Evil, it's easy to forget that they came out in the first quarter of the year. Once you're into like September, October, and November, if GTA 6 comes out, the world's going to be consumed by that. But I will be banging the RE drum this year. So,
God, if Super Mario Maker 3 drops this year, it's going to be hilarious.
We will go to war because this is.
I doubt. I doubt that it would be my game of the year because it's now the third iteration of Mario Maker. Like, what are they gonna do?
Right.
That being said, it would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious.
Now, there's other games that could come out. Like, if an F-Zero game drops out of the sky, like, I'm going to vote for the F-Zero game over this. I'm sorry. But if it sucks, I won't.
Right.
Yeah. But what I was saying, like, what a crazy week. This game comes out on the 27th, right? Which is Friday. So I guess Thursday at midnight or whatever. And we're going to be streaming it on the Shacknews Twitch channel, on our YouTube channel, on Twitter, and on Facebook on Thursday. I think we're going to go live at 2 p.m. Eastern from the Shacknews Intergalactic headquarters. So tune in, everyone out there, or watch the VOD on YouTube or wherever else. But crazy thing is, February 27th is Pokemon Day, Donovan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, that's a huge day for video gamers. Like, we're getting a new RE game that's a 10 out of 10 at Shacknews. Oh, by the way, it's the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise.
Yeah, probably the most important day the Pokemon franchise has had in many, many years this Friday. They've already announced there's going to be a showcase. They're doing a Pokemon Presents. Every sign that could possibly exist is pointing towards Generation 10 getting revealed. It'll be the official successors to Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, last two generations, that would presumably come out this fall. There have been many of leaks and rumors, but we should be getting our first look at the next generation of Pokemon in a few days. But also, we're getting Pokemon LeafGreen and FireRed ported to the Switch 2 this Friday.
Which just showed up on the eShop for pre-order on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
With zero fanfare.
I usually do a good job of sleeping through the night, but I've got a little, like, sixth sense when it comes to Pokemon, and I, like, woke up at, like, 2 a.m., and I just glanced at my phone, and I had a press release in my email, and it was like, all I saw was Pokemon FireRed LeafGreen. I was like, that's something. And I opened it, and it was like, yeah, they're coming to Switch February 27th, which I'm excited about. They were some of my first Pokemon games that came out in 2004. They're remakes of Red and Green, the original games. They're in the, like, Generation 3 Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald sort of art style engine. I think they're still probably the definitive Kanto games. I love Red and Blue and Green, but those games don't look great. Same goes for, like, Yellow and whatnot. They're a bit rigid playing them now. But FireRed and LeafGreen hold up really well. I've gone back and replayed these games many times over the years, but I'm so excited to finally have them on my Switch. Like, being able to sit down and put them on a dock and play them with a Pro Controller on my TV is just going to be life-changing.
With Pokemon Home support.
Yeah, I hope so. They haven't confirmed that yet. Oh. People are starting to get a little scared about that because they haven't mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like, when this was rumored, the rumor was like, and it's going to have home support. Then they announced it and they just didn't mention it. So people are like, well, what does that mean? So
I thought the reason, because we've been talking about this. Why aren't the Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch Online? And I thought part of that was home, right? But also I think money. Like they're like,
money.
We're gonna sell these for $20, and boy, the internet has opinions about that.
Yeah, money is a big. Yeah, they're gonna be $20 each, which people have been arguing up and down about ever since it was revealed. I was always of the mind these were never going to be, Game Boy Classics NSO titles. I said that in my feature last week. Just too much money to be made. But also, I saw Joe Merrick from Cerebi pointing out that it also probably has a lot to do with cloud saves, with the rewind feature that they have in Nintendo Classics. If you know how people play Pokemon games and the way people save scum and shiny hunt and whatnot, Game Freak is very weird and precious about how people play Pokemon games. But I think probably chief among them is just money. They're gonna sell probably another 1 million units of these 22-year-old Pokemon games this week.
Speaking of Joe,
it is what it is.
Speaking of Joe and Cerebi, bless his heart. This week,
Yeah.
Pokemon Japan, like their Japan Twitter account, they had this really cool thing where you could retweet this tweet and it would send you a 30th anniversary image for one of the over 1,000 Pokemon in the decks. And it was just randomly generated, David. So it's like, so bless his heart. Joe Merrick, the day that came out, the night that came out, spent like 5 hours just hitting the button,
compiling them all,
and over and over again. And he compiled it. He has all the 30th anniversary images on Cerebi.net. That website is so goddamn good at chronicling the Pokemon franchise. And it's just such a cool, fun thing, man. Like, I want to sit there and retweet it until I get I know that we already have the 30th anniversary Pikachu one, but I'm like, what other ones can I get? Like, I want to get, Arcanine and stuff.
It's, to me, the perfect marketing campaign that just encapsulates, what I love most about the Pokemon franchise, which is just how diverse it is, right? Everybody has a favorite, Yeah. It's a joke when they come out with, silly gimmick Pokemon, but everyone really is someone's favorite. And I've seen a tweet going around now where it's, quote, with, a picture of you and your favorite Pokemon's anniversary logo. And I'm seeing people post, pictures of Florges and Love Disc and, these weird offshoot Pokemon that nobody cares about. Tropius, the banana beard one from Gen 3, all these weird pics, and they're all represented there. You can open it up. I got a Colossal, which is I think from Sword and Shield, which is the big fired rock type dude with the burning coals on his back.
Yeah.
But such a cool little marketing thing. I like that all the logos are they're all unique. It's not just the logo with different Pokemon swapped in. The color changes.
Yep.
If you get Ditto, he pops out the side of it.
Different backgrounds, different colors of the text, and they're genuine. Those are made for the fans. So with FireRed and LeafGreen out of the way, Donovan, that announcement, that's gone. That happened. And then we got this news yesterday that Nintendo Treehouse Live is going to focus on the most absurd name of a game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Switch 2 Edition, Meet Up at Bellabelle Park. Right? And Pokemon Pokopia. So, we're getting gameplay for Pokemon Pokopia today. And we're recording this on the 24th. So, February 24th, we're getting a Nintendo stream from the Treehouse for Pokopia. And we already got FireRed and LeafGreen announced. Yep. So, I ask you, Donovan, what the hell are they making room for this Pokemon Presents? If those are two really big news bits for Pokemon this year and soon, right? One, these FireRed and LeafGreen, they come out on Friday, but also Pokopia is a week away almost. So what the hell are we about to hear on Friday?
The tinfoil hats in the Pokemon community are they're clearing room, they're making space so that they can just go all in on Generation 10, new games, new mystery dungeon, all exciting stuff, right? I don't know if I'm that far into it. I think I've watched too many of these where there is the Pokemon Masters trailer, then a Go thing, and then a TCG thing, and then Sleep and Teeth. The next thing you know, there's 3 minutes left in the showcase. So I'm not letting myself get too swept up in it, but it is weird. there's like some sort of smoke there because they don't usually do that. Like the Leaf Green Fire Red thing would have been a slam dunk home run. You spend 2 minutes on it during the direct, and you say it's out today.
Now
would have been huge. Yeah, it's out now. That would have been huge. And then, like you just said, with the Pokopia stuff, where it's like, again, Pokopia will be a week out the day of the presents. Layup, give us a 2 minute, 3 minute new overview, show some extra content. So yeah, to clear that room, and I think they've already said it's gonna be like a 30-minute or maybe 25, which puts it on the longer end for these. There's a chance, man. There's a chance. Obviously, Champions we haven't seen.
Yeah,
but,
Pokemon Champions. There's a rumor it might shadow drop on Friday. Like I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, David, and I this is my Nintendo tinfoil hat here. Nintendo didn't acknowledge the Legend of Zelda anniversary this weekend.
Yeah, that was surprising and disappointing.
But also, no direct, no proper Nintendo Direct in February. We got that Tomodachi Life Direct. We got the Partner Showcase Direct. It's like Nintendo themselves have sidestepped Pokemon Presents, David. It's like, no, you guys do your thing. It's 30th anniversary here. But also, what I think's happening here, David, and we talked about this because we're still in the heart of the Mario 40th, right? Like, it's still, the Mario Tennis Fever trailer, it starts with the 40th bumper for that. So I feel like Nintendo is doing this intentionally, where this 40th anniversary celebration for Mario continues through the movie's launch. Right? Like, I think that's why they're like, we don't want to do this necessarily for Zelda. What I think is going to happen, the North American release date for Zelda is after the Japanese release date, right? In 1986. I think they're going to use the North American date as that fence post for promoting Zelda. And it's like, but it is interesting that they sidestep Pokemon, like, right? Like, they're like, no, this is your guys' month. Like, you guys clearly have something here. Dom, you mentioned something earlier. Like, yeah, yellow, red, blue, green, they're not the best games now. They don't hold up the best, but that's the history. We're talking about the anniversary. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it possible we're going to get a remake of all four of those?
Oh gosh, I would not like that. I just Kanto, it's a running joke that like Kanto's like the favorite child. It was the first, you know. We call people like Gen 1ers that are like red and blue are the best and everything else sucks. And they even said in the FAQ like why this game and not like red and blue. And they're like, we just thought people would enjoy playing these the most because they were the remakes of those games. They're gonna remake red and blue again one day. I don't know if now's the time. I think because next in the remake series the next logical one would be Black and White, which this would be a weird year for because those were fairly maligned when they came out. People have come around on them a decade and a half later, but they're not like held in the highest regard overall. So it would be a weird year to remake those. I just think there's probably going to be a lot of spin-offs. I think Mystery Dungeon could come back. Rangers, one people have wanted for a long time. When it comes to the mainline games, the reveals are usually brief. Like, I still remember, like, watching the Scarlet and Violet reveal, like, at 9 a.m., covering it for Shacknews, and it was just the trailer. It was, like, silhouettes, and then you saw the starters, and they showed the game titles, and that was it. They weren't, like, they didn't talk about them. They didn't tell you anything. We came back, like, later that year for more information, so assuming they do the same thing here, they're just like, hey, it's Pokemon Winds and Waves, here's your logo, and fall 2026, we'll see you later. But maybe they do a deep dive. Maybe they're like, hey, these games have already been leaked to shit. People have been talking about them for years. We are just going to talk about this for 10 minutes and give you everything you want to know.
Yeah.
And go in depth and give you a release date because, we're Pokemon and we're just going to throw everything on the table.
It just feels like Nintendo is sidestepping this, David, in a way that there's got to be something coming, man. Like,
feels like there's something, yeah.
And like,
it feels like there's more to it.
There's also like you mentioned Mystery Dungeon Diamond, but there's like stuff like Unite. There's stuff like obviously Go, but like, is this a year where you get another Pokken?
I would love nothing more than to see them take another crack at a fighting game, whether it be Pokken or not, just something totally new.
Yeah.
We every year it feels like we get more fighters announced, so I'd be totally down for that.
Especially in this void, like we don't have a new Smash right now, right? Like
True.
the Switch 2 could use an exclusive fighting game. It really could. And Luchador Pikachu has a special place in my heart, right next to DJ Pikachu. But I something tells me there's something that none of us know about that we're about to hear. Like, I know that the Pokemon... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
A random one I'll throw out there, because you said something none of us thought about. I've been playing a lot of Mugenics lately. Would love a Pokemon Tactics game.
There you go.
They did Pokemon Conquest on the original DS, which I never played because at the time I couldn't care for tactics games. I want to go back and play it now, but it's one of those if you know games, like forgotten Pokemon spin-off, but the people who played it love it and kind of beat the drum for it to come back.
Yeah.
Would love for them to just do something like that. The Pokedex has doubled in size since that game came out, so could be fun. I think Champions will be big here.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be the format for Worlds, which is in August. So.
And they have to launch that soon, because that you're going to give people 6 months to get good at it before Worlds, right? I do think we're also going to hear about Worlds and what are they calling it? That Pokemon
event? XP.
That event. Because they're doing like a fan-focused event, David, at around Worlds this year. It's like the first, it's like Pokemon E3, right? So I feel like they're going to spend some time promoting that stuff too, Donovan.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think Champions is going to be featured pretty heavily. The thing that I'm like, if someone who's been paying attention to this franchise a little bit more lately because of Legends ZA, like the big blemish on this franchise right now is no voice acting. Like if they wanted to do one little thing in this trailer, show a little bit of voice acting.
Yeah, man. It's my fantasy, like the coolest reveal to me is like, you show the logo, you show the cover art, Pokemon, the starters. Maybe show us an NPC, screen goes black, and just give like that one line, like give like that like signature professor line where it's like the world is about to like expand or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then just cut it, fall 2026. Boom. It could be a big voice actor. Let it be like, I don't know, Neil Newman or Ben
Matt
Starr
Mercer.
or something. Yeah, Jennifer English, and then just be like, mic drop. Pokemon's changing. Like, we'll see you.
I feel like
October.
That's the thing that they could do, where the internet would just be like, "Wah!" I'm wondering what that thing is, because they are. It seems like obviously Resident Evil's not sidestepping this, but like, and Nintendo's been promoting the hell out of RE. They have that creator spotlight. It's been featured in multiple directs. It's been at the preview events. Right, like Donovan played it at the preview event. Right, it was at TGS on a Switch 2, and clearly, like for RE to be on this at launch, David, like they had a dev kit. Like Capcom had dev kits of the Switch 2, and that is still an issue. Not every dev has a dev kit for the Switch 2 right now. So yeah, I think it's just interesting to see Nintendo be silent about The Legend of Zelda. The week before this, it's like, because obviously, David, it's like drop Twilight Princess, drop Skyward, or we already have a Skyward Sword HD, but like drop Twilight Princess HD, drop Wind Waker HD. I don't know, do something. Like something. Anything. Do more than Shacknews did, at least, because like we did our own little featurette, and we had that cool montage of gameplay. Like people went ape over that. Like, yeah, that's weird. It's weird, but someone like, I saw this meme. I think Donovan, you interacted with my tweet about it. Like people are acting like the Zelda franchise is forgotten and the Metroid franchise is forgotten by Nintendo, and it was that the kid in the pool and Mario's the kid being held up. I'm like, what are we talking about here? There's been like 2 mainline Zelda games in the last 10 years. There's Echoes of Wisdom, and oh, by the way, they're making a fucking movie. It's like, I just think it's more a marketing thing, David, where it's like they're going to tie the Zelda 40th with the movie, just like they've tied Mario 40th with the movie.
I could see that. I mean, I know in 2016, that was the 30th anniversary, and they announced the Breath of the Wild subtitle that year, even though the game wasn't coming until the following year.
Yeah.
So I think they could do something like that. I think maybe by the end of the year, whenever, I agree with you, maybe when the North American release date hits or gets close, they'll do something, and then they'll say cut more in 2027 with the movie.
Because by then, they will have made their billions off of the Mario movie, and the Mario movie effect will be in effect, and Super Mario Galaxy 3 will have been announced, if I'm right, or whatever. Like, it just seems like right now, the way that Nintendo is handling it anniversaries, it's like the beginning of the anniversary is whenever they say, and then they go a full year, right? So it's like it carries over years now, and it gives their devs opportunities to release games. So like they can argue, Mario Tennis Fever is a Mario 40th thing. They can argue that this Bella Bell Park update is a Mario 40th thing. They can argue that Super Mario Maker 3 is a Mario 40th thing.
They marketed that Yoshi game as a Mario 40th thing.
Yes. The Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a and that's honestly, based on all the trailers we're seeing for the Mario movie, it's starting to make a lot of sense to release a Yoshi game with Yoshi being this main, like, a character in that movie, right? So, interesting. It just, something is up with this Presents, Don, and like something just has me like, I'm like that Brian Windhurst meme where he's like pointing.
Yeah.
I'm like, something doesn't add up here. Like, they like giving Nintendo having a Pokopia stream this week, and then it's like 3 days later there's this Presents. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It could just be a fucking mobile app for, I don't know, something horrible. I don't know, what haven't they done on mobile yet?
The thing is, it's like that stuff will be there, right? It's just a matter of how much, Like, these showcases always start with Go or Unite. And look, Pokemon Go's fun. Pokemon Unite's fun. I don't really play them, but they're huge, massive
Pokemon Go
parts of that franchise.
Just had a huge weekend. Like, they had Go Fest in LA at the Rose Bowl. Ozzy Mejia was down there. We had Glitch City was DJing. They did, like, their Mega Nights event for the first time, Don. And you were talking about that on a past episode, how they're doing, like, night events. Like, they actually had, like, a DJ perform Pokemon remixes. Like, so, like, something's different. This is different. This is different than past Pokemon anniversaries. I think this is a big year. That Super Bowl ad is kind of like still over my head. At Toy Fair where Greg was, they had like a Pokemon. Like, who's your favorite Pokemon? Like, it's different. Something's going on here.
It's also worth mentioning that I think something that's very likely, and it won't be the most exciting prediction, but I think it'll be cool. There's going to be a lot of history during this showcase because it is the 30th anniversary of Red and Green coming out in Japan in '96. There probably will be, the same way we saw like the graph paper of them designing the original Mario levels and stuff, right? You probably will have like a moment where Junichi Masuda or other developers talk about making the older Pokemon games and how the franchise has grown. It won't be the flashy, sexy announcements, but I imagine there's going to be some of that in there as well. They love their big graphics and release calendars and whatnot. So
Pokemon Maker.
I mean, again, it's in any genre you can apply to a Pokemon spinoff. It usually works. So I'm sure they'll have something quirky.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested. So did they say how long it's going to be?
It was either 25 or 30 minutes, which again, credit to Joe from Cerebi. I think he said that like puts it up with like the longest ones they've done. These are usually between, the shorter end is like 15 to 20 and the longer end is like 25, 30. I don't think they've ever gone past that runtime. So this is supposed to be one of their longer ones. I'm pumped. It's the most excited I've been for a gaming showcase in some time, probably since the Switch 2 Direct. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Interesting.
Also, I looked it up. The Zelda 1 North American release was August 1986, so maybe this summer.
Doesn't that just seem like enough birth to give the Mario movie?
Yeah.
And it's like a month before PAX, and you know that Nintendo has a huge presence in Seattle when it comes to PAX. So, like, if you want to release Twilight Princess again, or if you want to release Wind Waker, if you want to give us a Link to the Past HD remake, like that would be the time to do that. And if you wanted to announce a freaking Ocarina of Time 4K remake, that might be a good time to do that, Nintendo. But yeah, like, because then think about it, David. Then okay, so if August, right? So you go August 2026 to August 2027. The Zelda movie is supposed to come out in May of 2027. So like it falls right in the center. So I think that's what's going on here. They're being selective, where it's like Mario's anniversary, I think, is in September. So they're like they gave themselves some cover here. It's interesting.
And I think it makes sense because they celebrated Mario's 40th last year, right? Was that last year?
Yes.
Yeah. The time is fluid. And I think that was also the North American release of the NES that they pinpointed, rather than I think that game came out like 83 or 84 for the Famicom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would make sense for them to look at the North American release date for Zelda here.
I think that's what they're doing here, and I think it's driven by their movie cadence.
Yeah.
Because that's like this whole other part of their Blue Ocean strategy now. So if you're a Zelda fan, I understand why you're like, roar, they don't care about Zelda, but it's like, come on. They're making a multi-billion-dollar movie. They're like, two of the best 3D Zelda games launched in this last generation. Echoes of Wisdom was delightful. Like, I love that game. So yeah, I think it's silly. Like, actual forgotten Nintendo franchises are like, come on, what are you talking about? Like, they were acting like they don't care about the Pokemon franchise, Donovan, in that meme. I was like, come on, what are we talking about? We're about to have Pokemon Presents like on Friday. Like, what are we talking about here? And there's like Pokopia has already been announced. Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, just shut up about people buying a $20 game, man. Like, people are out there using DoorDash and complaining about you. Like, if you're using DoorDash and you have a car, shut the fuck up about people buying a $20 video game. If you've ever used DoorDash or Uber Eats, shut the fuck up. Because you can just get on your fucking... You can go to the store and get your fucking shit. Like, you can go to the place and get your to-go food. It's legal. But, like, the amount of people who are like, I can't believe it. You can emulate this on your phone. It's like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the response to that, which I agree with that I saw, was I don't want to play it on my phone. Which is how I feel. I don't want to play Pokemon on my phone. I've done it. We all jailbroke our phones when I was in high school 12 years ago, and we played through like Pokemon again. It was novel, but that's not how I like to play video games. I want to play it on my Switch. Yeah. And as an adult with disposable income, I can afford a $20 video game, and I'll live to see the next day.
How dare you?
But yeah, people are just, I think it's a combination of one, it's been such a sensitive year and a half for the price of video games, especially on Nintendo systems, paired with the like vitriol hate that a lot of people have for the Pokemon franchise, just for a lot of their trends over the years, and people who've said it's stagnant and they want to like punish Game Freak. They get so mad when it does well because it's like you're rewarding them, and they just completely miss the point of like not everybody is like upset and angry like you are. So it just creates this toxic corner of the gaming community that's just like, you can't buy this, you can't support Game Freak and Nintendo, this isn't good, you're sending them the wrong message. And so, I have a person having fun on the couch.
To that note, I have a teeny tiny Doug Bowser alert for you guys, because we're mutuals on Twitter now. We're buddies. Nintendo Fangirl on Twitter, there's a decent follow, said, I don't like how inconsistent Nintendo has been with pricing lately, to your point, Donovan. Games that are $80, $70, $60, Switch upgrades that are $10, $5 free, the more effort/content equals higher cost argument doesn't hold up in many examples, would appreciate more transparency here. To which Kit Ellis from the Kit and Krista podcast said, variable pricing with the trademark emoji. Doug Bowser, being cheeky, just replied with the emoji of the guy with the eyes blushing. I love post-retirement Doug. He is hilarious on Twitter. Great follow. So yeah,
he's been unleashed.
He really has. Like, I know you're out there, Doug. Come on the podcast. We'll throw it out there.
Come chat with us, yeah.
I think it might be time. I've been trying to talk to this guy for years. I think he might finally be open to it. So I'm throwing it out there. Join us. Tell us more about variable pricing. Anyway, speaking of random upgrades that just dropped on a Thursday, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition for Switch 2 did drop. Monolith Soft is considered one of the best Nintendo, second-party developers. This game is beloved. The Definitive Edition, I think it dropped like a month before the Switch 2 did last year. So people were expecting this. We did get it. I've heard some people are complaining about the performance of it right now. It's not as consistent as people had expected. I think it even got a please understand from Nintendo. So
I've been doing some reading on that. Apparently, it looks like its performance, mostly in handheld, people are noticing some weird upscaling issues that they think has got something to do with the Switch 2 upgrade. And apparently, people have been getting refunds, like from Nintendo. People like screen recorded themselves successfully getting a refund for their game, which is not standard practice. So hopefully, that's just like a thing that gets fixed in a patch, not a permanent issue with this game, because I want to play it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's beloved. And what's weird, Donovan, is that the actual Definitive Edition on Switch is like one of the best. It ran very well on the Switch. So this does seem to be like a DLSS thing, and it is specific to handheld. But, people want to play these games in handheld. But anyway, there's a little bit of news there. Just a PSA. What is this Fallout 4 edition called? Is it the anniversary?
Anniversary edition, yeah, because the game turned 10 last year, which is when this came out for other spots, and it just
perfect Microsoft Switch timing. They're going to release it after everyone else on the Switch 2. So, if you haven't played Fallout 4, you can play it on Switch 2 now. But most of us have played Fallout 4, right? Have you, Dom?
I have. Yeah, I've played it a couple times. Great game.
Yeah. Dave, you played
having it on the Go School.
I haven't played 4 actually.
No. It's good.
I'm not a big Fallout guy.
Me neither. I like 4.
Bill has played enough for all of us.
Bill has played probably several hundred hours of this game, multiple saves. I know Greg Burke really likes it as well, our head of video.
Greg's also a big Fallout guy. Yeah.
It's a really good Fallout game, David. And I was, I'm so old that I remember the isometric Fallout games, like the more Wasteland style games, and I actually like those quite a bit. But yeah, it's cool. I also like the dog meat in this game. Like it's just cool. So yeah,
one of the better video game dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all good dogs. Sure. Any dogs in RE9 that I should be worried about, David?
Yes, there are zombie dogs.
Zombie dogs. Okay.
But
good.
there usually are.
Yeah.
So that's
I know.
It's okay.
I know. That's all.
Wait, but do the zombie dogs have the personalities of their original selves like the zombies do? Do they have
they do not.
Like Spike? Okay.
They do not. No.
How
They're not going to be like,
how campy are these zombies? Are they like waka waka? I'm a zombie, or they're like what? Or I can't work all day. What do you get? Like what? How sarcastic are these zombies? Like, do they have brains? No.
So it's kind of cool, actually. Like, there are a couple of zombies who we're talking about, like, keep it quiet. And if you run near them or you, like, break open a crate to get an item, they're like, keep it down. And they, like, rush at you and start hitting you. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. I saw something cool today. I was replaying it. And there's a maid who's, like, furiously scrubbing at blood on the floor. I killed another zombie, and she chased me out of the room. But when she saw the dead zombie I just killed, she stopped and started cleaning him up.
Oh, my goodness.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
So you had to keep things tidy.
Yep.
Okay, so this podcast has been devoid of some information for a while here. I've done a huge disservice to the F-Zero 99 community because I became horribly addicted to Ball Pit, right? Like, I've just been playing that game far too much. But as the elder statesman of F-Zero Twitter, last night I saw someone post a tweet. There's a new event going on in F-Zero 99, guys. In 2026, in February. It's called the Meteor Spark event. And you have to collect Meteor Sparks on the ground. You complete 5 races in Lucky Ranks to unlock these different cosmetics. There's emotes, there's cosmetics, there's like backgrounds, there's a different spin color, there's a different boost color that you can unlock. But some of the coolest things about this, they redid some of these levels so they have like the northern lights, the Aurora Borealis in the background. So it's like nighttime, but you also see the northern lights when you're driving. And then I played a game because I had to, right? And when the meteors hit the ground, a jump pad appears in front of you. So it's like not necessarily a sweet jump all the time, because like it can happen at inopportune times where you just jump off the level, right? So first race back, what do you think happens, Donovan?
Number 1.
I won. Haven't played this game in a minute. Came back, first place on Mute City. I'm back. I'm in. Because like this will I'm gonna just mention this. Yes, I'm still playing Ball Pit. There's a new game plus.
I've seen video of your gameplay recently. I don't even know what the hell's going on, but it's pretty fun to watch.
So like,
it's pretty fun to watch.
I'm gonna have to stream this game again. I think people will enjoy watching it, but I might email the devs or the PR and just be like, first of all, sorry for the 6 out of 10 at Shacknews. I don't know. If I could hit Lucas in the head with a newspaper, I would, or on the note. But because it's not a 6 out of 10, it's a fucking 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 kind of game. I love this game. But I don't know when it ends. I don't know if it ends. Right. Like at this point, I'm just like, I gotta stop playing this game. There's other video games, and now like there are other video games. Like there's RE9, there's Mario Tennis Fever, which I've been playing, and like, Don and I beat all the towers. Right?
Okay, nice.
So I did that. I'm unlocking all the rackets. Like, I want to unlock all the rackets before I go ranked with it. But yeah, first race back in F-Zero 99 and I win, guys? Come on. That's just...
Still got it. It's like the wrestling crowd say, you still got it.
I know, and I deserve it, too.
You got that cheer.
I need the I deserve it, or you deserve it cheer as well. But yeah, shout out to the F-Zero 99 devs. Like, still updating their game right now. And with, like, a brand new thing. Like, this had never been in the game before. Like, some of these other events, like, when you're a live service game down, and you can just, like, trot it out again kind of thing. No, this is, like, completely brand new. Which I just think is super dope. And it's in, like, the main game. It's in the F-Zero 99 mode. It's not like some Grand Prix, some time-consuming thing. Like, I played a race before we started recording today, and a race in F-Zero 99 is about 2 minutes, which I love about this game. You can just play it for 2 minutes, put it down. Look, I have trouble doing that, but, like, yeah, I'm back. This event is going for 19 days. I want to unlock all the things. I'm so happy that they're still supporting this game. And yeah, it is not free, but it is part of your base Nintendo Switch Online subscription, along with Tetris 99, which is also a delightful game that keeps getting Maximus Cup support. So, 2 live service games from Nintendo there. Speaking of live services, Xbox Live used to be a thing. Xbox has had an executive shakeup. Phil Spencer, the CEO or president of Microsoft Gaming, has retired. And the head of Xbox, was that her name? Was that her title?
I think Phil Spencer was CEO. Sarah Bond was president.
President of Xbox.
Yes, of Xbox, yeah.
President Sarah Bond has stepped down, resigned?
She resigned, yeah.
I said it. I don't know if it was on this podcast or other podcasts. I felt like they set her up for failure, Donovan. Like, a lot of these things that failed were not her call. She's not the one who acquired Activision Blizzard.
Right.
That's above her pay grade. But, like, it's undeniable that Activision Blizzard's acquisition has impacted this company. And...
yeah,
including Call of Duty in the Game Pass subscription, impacted other Game Pass revenue, impacted the sales of Call of Duty, right? I think it's weird. And then, sorry.
It is.
Go ahead.
I was saying, it is weird. Ozzy wrote a good feature kind of looking at the Sarah Bond stuff and how it just feels off, just the way it all went down, where her announcement came after everybody else's. Only Phil Spencer mentioned her in his letter to staff and fans. She posted on LinkedIn 4 hours before she resigned. There's something weird about all of this, and I think to relate it to Nintendo, right? A big piece of this, apparently, according to some reporting that came out last few days, was that her and Phil Spencer were kind of pushing the multi-platform thing, and even some people that worked at Xbox weren't a fan of that. And we just recently got Indiana Jones, The Great Circle announced, getting a physical cartridge on the Switch. Just interesting to see if Asha Sharma, the new president or the new CEO of Xbox, and the folks with her, if they decide to rethink that, do they go back to single platform exclusive stuff, or do they stick with those multi-platform releases? I think will be an interesting thing to monitor.
There's no way they're going to go back.
You would think not. Yeah, I mean, it feels like the cat's out the bag, right? You can't, undo that now that you've released games on PlayStation and Switch, but...
You have the data on the other side of the pond, or, with Sony, where Sony, they've shown releasing games on PC is not cannibalizing the sales of the games on PlayStation. It's just additional revenue. So, especially with the cadence that they're doing this at Xbox, I know that they're going to start simultaneously shipping, but, shipping Forza Horizon 5, a year and a half after they shipped it on Xbox, they didn't take away any sales from their own platform. And PlayStation players were like, yeah, sure, we'll buy that. Because there's not enough games on PlayStation 5 in a lot of ways. I don't think they're ever going to move back from that. I think that the other question I have is, is Xbox even going to be a thing? Is this just the era of Microsoft gaming?
I don't know. Again, when I say she, I'm talking about Asha, the new CEO. Her statement seemed like she was very much trying to, pump her fist at the old school Xbox, what it used to be, and she mentions console and systems and stuff, so it feels like they're trying to put an emphasis back on consoles mattering. That could also just be we're trying to keep the fans happy and excited and not in panic mode, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a more set restrictions, I guess, on multi-platform, because right now it's kind of fast and loose, right, where they're Forza's coming out on PC and Xbox, you gotta come to PS5 later, but maybe they get to a place where they're hey, it's 1 year. When a game comes to Xbox, it's 365 days calendar year. Then you can see it on PS5. Then you can see it on Switch. I wouldn't be surprised because they keep talking about wanting to make consoles matter, and I just don't know how they do that without having a reason for people to buy the consoles versus not buying them, which is what people are doing now.
It seems like they've accidentally had success in the console space, though, David. Yes, the first Xbox was kind of revolutionary in a lot of ways. The 360 succeeded because of software exclusives. Not because of the hardware. Holy shit, was that hardware terrible.
Yeah.
But, everything since has kind of been a series of fumbles by Microsoft. Zune-like fumbles. Hey, let's shove Kinect into this. Everything's going to be television. Now, we're going to use the exact same hardware as the PlayStation, but you're going to buy this instead because of Game Pass. And Game Pass kneecapped software sales. And it's every single step they've made, which weren't Sarah Bond's decisions, failed. It's undeniable. This whole the thing everyone's oh, everyone's giving Phil Spencer his flowers this last weekend, David. I'm come on. The acquisition spree that man went on killed this company. Mm-hmm. And killed a lot of studios. What did we get out of this?
Yeah. It's something we've talked about a lot, not just on this podcast, but at Shacknews, where all these acquisitions, where have the games been? If they've come out, the acquisitions happen fast and furious, and then the games come out at a trickle. It's been a really odd several years for the Xbox brand. I don't know that Xbox will still be a thing. I feel like they have maybe one more console in them, and then they'll sunset it. I know that's how Seamus Blackley, the co-creator of the Xbox, feels. He feels like the end is near. And he worked at Microsoft for a long time, so he has a lot of insight there into their practices.
Yeah, and I think he has a reverence for that brand because it's his baby. That you've written about it, David, and Bet on Black. That was a Skunkworks kind of team that had this pirate flag kind of vibe to them, where they were we're doing something different here at a software company. It was hardware. Yeah. It was a very hardware focused thing. And as we have seen, Microsoft's view on gaming has slowly drifted into more services and away from hardware. And I just don't see how and look, I get it. You don't have to have a gamer CEO. You don't. But bringing in someone who's worked at Meta and Instacart and at the AI division of Microsoft does not inspire confidence from me. The fact that she spun up an Xbox gamer tag a month before she became CEO, and that she had people playing different games to get like achievements for different games, and they had to put out a statement on Twitter and reply to someone from IGN about it, and then she had to say that her replies to people aren't AI generated. This is not a good first week for her. I'm sorry. It's not. This is not a good first look. I don't trust her at all. I think she's a plant. I also want to point out something. Only Phil Spencer thanked Sarah Bond in that announcement, in the announcement letter. Matt Booty, who got a promotion, which that guy just keeps failing upwards. Asha Sharma didn't thank Sarah Bond. And Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, didn't thank Sarah Bond. So I think Ozzy's headline that something stinks about Sarah Bond's exit is apt and correct. And I think they did her dirty. And I've been a fan of hers. I've wanted her to succeed, and I thought she was actually kind of honest with people, maybe to a fault at times. But like I've seen a lot of hit pieces on her in the last week, and everyone's giving Phil his flowers. And I'm like, Phil's the one who got laughed out of Nintendo offices in Redmond when he tried to buy Nintendo. He's that jaboofer. But he's also the one that bought Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. And that kneecapped all these other acquisitions. Right? Like, he shipped Starfield. Yeah. He's the guy who bought ZeniMax, and then they shipped Starfield. He killed the Quake franchise. What happened? Remember that quadruple A game studio, Donovan, that was going to make Perfect Dark? That never happened. The Initiative. Where was the Initiative? Gone. We've watched them buy the Gears of War franchise and run it into the ground. Like, Halo. They've had to rebrand it Halo Studios. Because 343 was such a shit show. And like the mismanagement of Halo 5. Halo Master Chief Collection at launch, Donovan, was a piece of shit. It got better. Halo Infinite, fine, but not what it should be. And now to the point where you're releasing Halo on PlayStation. You know, like, these are Phil Spencer's failures. And a lot of people are blaming Sarah Bond, and I just think that's bullshit. Like, yes, she shares blame for some of these things. But, like, if we're looking at executive decisions, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming was making those decisions. And I left out Everwild, David. Like, Everwild, that game from Rare. And, like, Phil Spencer didn't acquire Rare. But he did go on an interview saying that we're going to give Rare time to make Everwild, and then they canceled it.
Right.
He's been talking out both sides of his mouth for a really long time, and I have never bought his bullshit. A lot of people in our industry do, and I think it's just important to note, like, these people aren't your friends.
Yeah, I'll also say, Ozzy Mejia's piece, this is on our front page right now. I edited it earlier. It's fantastic. People should go read it. I'm hoping it's still on our front page by the time the podcast is out tomorrow. But he also pointed out that there's a lot of coded language there. You know, like Sarah Bond was, quote, difficult to work with, which everybody knows what that means. Whereas Phil Spencer is, you know, a certain guy in a certain position. He's getting his flowers. It's not really too surprising. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
That he's getting that treatment and she's not, you know?
No, and, you know, I remember we called out Phil Spencer when they went from we're only going to bring 4 games to PlayStation to, fuck it, we're just bringing everything. It's like he lied. Mm-hmm. He's lied repeatedly. That's what I say. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. And it's like, but he was on the Giant Bomb show at E3. Like, he's a good guy. It's like, no, he's fucking not. Don't trust these people. And don't trust any of them. But, like, when he has a pattern of lying and a pattern of failure, why are we lionizing him? Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, Don Matrick did a terrible job with the Xbox One. I will not blame Phil for that. Phil was not the executive at the time. But the Series X has been an unmitigated failure. The Series X and S, the Game Pass rollout, and all of these acquisitions are on his desk. And those are all categorical failures. And it's like, why are we lionizing this guy? What did he do? He ruined the Xbox brand. It was already in trouble, and he made it worse. And it's like, I don't think you put the genie back in the bottle when it comes to Game Pass or when it comes to this third-party mission.
No, and I think that, I mean, we touched on this earlier, but I think a lot of the reason Phil Spencer is so beloved by part of that community is not only was he an Xbox evangelist kind of because he had to be, right? What else is he going to say? But also, like, oh, he had gamer cred. And I feel like that blinds a lot of people to what he really did, which was a lot of harmful stuff to this brand.
Yeah. I look at, like, yeah, I'm going to judge you as an executive. And look, Shuntaro Furukawa doesn't have a Twitter account, and I don't know if I've ever heard him talk about playing a video game. He's the president of Nintendo in Japan. That's not like, I'm not like, oh, I don't care. Like, I don't care about Nintendo because Shuntaro Furukawa hasn't played Mario Maker. Like, who gives a fuck? How is he doing? Nintendo let Prime 4 cook, and you can argue about if it's great or if it's not great or if it didn't turn out perfect, but they didn't close Retro Studios.
Right.
They gave them almost a decade to figure it out. Like, the impatience of Microsoft is a structural problem that probably even goes above Phil Spencer's head or the head of Asha Sharma now. Like, the impatience of Microsoft in 2026 is driven by their need to monetize AI. So the fact that they are putting someone from their AI division in charge of their gaming division, that gives me giant alarm bells. That is a problem. And she's like, I don't like shitty AI. I don't like AI slop. Someone ran her announcement through one of those AI detection apps, and it was like 86% likely to have been written by GPT or Copilot.
Really?
Yeah. And then, like, have you seen who she's replying to? She's replied to Grums on Twitter. She's replied to Smash GT on Twitter. Someone at Xbox needs to tell her to stop using Twitter.
Right.
Like, okay, you did your announcement. I followed her because I'm like, I need to know about it. I need to know about Xbox news. It's part of our job. But, like, wait until you have something real to say. Not this platitudes. Not just platitudes like, I care. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's been a few days and she's already kind of stuck her foot in her mouth several times. Like, best to just say nothing at all at this point, or let someone else tweet for you.
Or just wait.
Wait
until you have something.
Yeah, you can speak on stage at Summer Game Fest. They'll do their summer showcase thing. That'll be a great opportunity to come out and talk and then have stuff to back it up on screen.
Like, think about how, like, I know Nintendo of America president is not necessarily the head of the company, but think about how Devin Pritchard's reveal worked out for her at the New York Game Awards. You know, Reggie was there to introduce her, and she had this great statement. And then look at this. Like, that's the difference between Microsoft and Nintendo. And I'm not playing a console war here. I'm just putting these two things next to each other. Two executives, both taking over at different time periods. I would say the Xbox brand is on life support right now. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to make it. I agree with both of you, though. I think we get one more Xbox, but I don't know how much it costs or when it's going to ship or if it's even going to be a dedicated platform.
And I don't even know if we can go by what Sarah Bond said now that she's gone, but from what I recall, this was just relatively recently, maybe a few months. But one of you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought she said that the next Xbox will be a premium experience. It sounded like they might not even have it. The coded language I got there was it might be like the Xbox ROG Ally, where like we might not even do it in-house, but it's going to cost like $1,000 plus. Or you can just play Xbox games on anything else because everything is an Xbox, you know?
Yeah, yes. And like the whole narrative that people internally didn't like the everything is an Xbox thing.
Right.
Okay, well, does that mean they're going to shift backwards? Like, I said, how do you put the genie back in the bottle here? Is it even possible? And also, the component price environment is awful for making what she was talking about. Which leads me to the next story. I'm glad you brought up the ROG Xbox Ally X going to give it to you box. AMD, known horrible driver supporters, have said that they're probably dropping support for the Z1 Extreme processor that is found in both the Lenovo Go handheld and the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X. I believe it's the ROG Xbox Ally X. So this is terrible news. I'm not cheering for anyone's product to be bricked or anything, but I saw this on Tom's Hardware. This is still a rumor, but they said if confirmed, it would mean that several high-end gaming PCs from recent years running Windows 11, including the top-level the ROG Ally X and the Legion Go and Legion Go S, will no longer receive updates and haven't for several months. The ROG Xbox Ally X hasn't even been out for a year, guys.
Yeah. If you're a ROG Xbox Ally X gonna whatever it is owner, this would be troubling. This should be troubling because you paid a premium for that thing, and if it ends up being true, that's like, I don't know. Imagine putting out a new console and then just saying like, "Oh, we're not going to update it anymore."
Yeah, this is problematic, and it also it's a continuation of what we were talking about last week, where AMD and Nvidia they're focused on AI. And they can't be bothered to care about gamers right now. So I think it's troubling. My hope is that Microsoft, I guess they don't necessarily care. They didn't make the wrong... I talked about that when they launched this thing. Because they kind of said, Asus, this is your product, this isn't ours. They kind of washed their hands from the consumer experience. They're like, yeah, we'll support it, but it's not really ours, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know what this means, but it's not encouraging. It's just another feather in Valve's cap, man, because they support their own... They chose Linux, right? And then they write their own drivers. It's like, yeah, AMD can stop supporting it, but, like, we'll keep supporting it, you know? It's like, in that PC handheld gaming space, it's just another win for Steam Deck, in my opinion. Like, I think... If I had to pick one of those, I don't necessarily like the ergonomics of the Steam Deck, but the software ecosystem there, Donovan, is pretty great. And I think the OS level stuff, the big picture stuff, is actually quite good. So, this is shitty news. I'm not, like, cheering for these companies to fail or anything, but, like, to get blindsided by this, if this is true, hopefully this news, these rumors will cause AMD to backpedal, because that's a really shitty thing to do to people who just spent $1,000 on a hardware device like less than a year ago. Just another terrible tech AI adjacent story here to end the show. But yeah, thanks for reviewing RE9, David. I'm jealous because I played that dogshit Virtual Boy peripheral instead. Which maybe I'll bring to the office. No, I won't do that. I won't make you.
I mean, you can bring it, but I don't know who's going to use it.
You know, it's so big and cumbersome. I've had to like move it around my desk because I don't know. I don't know what to do with this thing. Like at this point, I'm just waiting for Zero Racers to come out on it. But yeah, I don't know. Someday I will try to play something else on it. But yeah, RE9, man, 10 out of 10 at Shacknews. Exciting. Hope everyone gets to check it out on your platform of choice. I hope we get some unexpected news on Friday about Pokemon, Donovan.
I'm really hyped up for it. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm trying to check my expectations at the door and just have a lot of fun with it.
I'm going in with super high expectations.
That's also fair. Yeah, that's what most people are going to be doing. So
I'm going to tell people they're horrible when they buy things. Can't believe you bought that Pokemon plushie. Like, do you know how much Pokemon cards cost and plushies cost? And like, we're talking about
I do.
At least a 20, like a game. Like a game is $20, but like, how many hours are you going to play that like Fire Red for? Right? Like,
yeah, no.
I think like, look, Ball Pit was what? How much did Ball Pit cost? Was that $20 or less?
Might have been 2015. I don't know.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. eShop. I'm pulling it up right now just because, you know, I'm an evangelist for this game at this point. I can't stress enough. I'm so sorry for the 6 out of 10 review at Shacknews. Yeah, it's $15. Over 100 hours played in it for $15. Like, the value of games compared to a lot of other entertainment forms, like, your stupid DoorDash order is going to cost more than $15. And you're going to tell people, oh, you should just emulate all of the games and steal them and play them on your phone with shittier input devices. It's like, no, like, we're not all broke. And it's not like a classist statement to say that. Just, I guess I'm just saying, stop pocket watching people. Let people have fun. Let people do what they want. It goes back to the launch, like the launch of the Switch 2. Don, remember that one lady posted, she like got pizza and two Switch. Oh
gosh, yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, it's $1,000 right there. Roar! And it's like, this woman did what she wanted to do with the money she has. Let her be. Like, it's a free country, and you can not buy whatever you want to not buy. But like, your purchasing habits aren't like your identity. And it's very weird how people continue to pocket watch in this world. So yeah, if you want to buy the Pokemon games, buy the Pokemon games. If you don't, it seems like at some point we're going to get Champions this year, Don, and that's going to be free to play, right?
It is, yeah. It's going to be on mobile as well. If people haven't remembered. So, mobile and Switch.
Mobile and Switch. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of mobile, Ball Pit got announced for mobile, you guys. Oh boy.
You're in trouble.
Dangerous development.
Am I? Because
yes.
I don't know. I'm already in trouble because I'm horribly addicted to Ball Pit already. But is Ball Pit the kind of game that would work with virtual buttons on a screen?
I don't even know if it needs virtual buttons. Like, I could just see you sliding your thumb along the bottom to move. When I play, I don't know what you do, but I have my balls go automatically anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't like manually fire them off.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get like level up options, you just tap what you want and then just keep playing. I think it could work.
Why I'm concerned is that it appears to be a horizontal form factor game on mobile. I don't like holding my phone like that.
No.
I prefer the one-handed gameplay of a game like Retro Slam Tennis, Modojo at Shacknews Game of the Year, Mobile Game of the Year 2025. I like one-handed gameplay in those games, and I just don't think that would work with Ball Pit. Another mobile game that, like, yeah, it's on mobile, but I ended up not playing it as much as I did on my PC was Vampire Survivors. So yeah, I'll let folks know, but like with over 100 hours in Ball Pit, and now I have a Meteor Spark event to deal with here.
Yeah.
I got bigger fish to fry. I don't play Vampire Survivors on mobile. It didn't take over my life like the game did on PC, because it launched on PC and Xbox first, Donovan. Is that right?
Yeah.
It was like a timed thing. It was like one of the few Xbox Game Pass indie darlings in that era. But yeah, I'm not so certain I am in trouble over this. I think other people might be. But I reserve my judgment on if that's going to take over my life. I am interested about Pokemon Champions. Because that is interesting. And yeah, I got back into... I shouldn't say I was playing Go as much as I was... When I travel, I just like checking in at different places I've never been to. I think that's just a cool thing. So I got like the medallion for being at the Pokemon store in Tokyo, stuff like that. But yeah, it's safe to say we're probably going to have to do another episode this week, Donovan, right?
There's a good chance that Friday will prompt us to
like
reassembly,
an 8-box breaking news panel of people talking about Pokemon. And then, Thursday, Dave and I will be streaming. David's going to be streaming. I will be sitting there talking to him about the game.
Yes.
And yeah, that'll be fun. Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern on all of the streaming places. But, come hang out on twitch.tv/Shacknews. That's our flagship streaming place to be. And you can get sweet emotes there. That'll do it for the show. We'll see everybody probably later this week. And thanks for reviewing the game, David. I know it wasn't that big of a chore as you're a huge fan of the series.
No.
But yeah, we'll see everybody next time. Bye-bye.